Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. West Santa Clara, and everyone who wants to really know what's going on the west side of town. This is the West Side Story. I'm your host, John Casey. If you enjoy this, please hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe. Thank you. I want to start off with talking a little bit about our city councilman, Kevin Park. As I think I've shared before, I like Kevin. I think he's doing a good job. However, the Santa Clara News Online seems to feel it needs to be investigated. And they're not without some reasons to be concerned. It appears that Kevin has failed to file timely reports on his campaign finances, and there seems to be some question about his employment. I don't really plan on spending much time on this issue, but if you do, you can check out the Santa Clara News Online, and I'm sure they'll have a whole bunch of information for you. One of the things that makes me a little skeptical is that the publisher of the Santa Clara News Online, two occasions was arrested for annoying a minor. He ran a wrestling setup, and as I say, there were two arrests, no trials, but two arrests. So I'm really a little leery of people who run around and say, hey, look what he did. In any case, it might be something you want to follow up on. This may make it to the Mercury, I don't know. But that's something I want to get to know about. The second thing is I received a bulletin from the Department of Public Safety, DPS over in Sunnyvale. On the second, they had a couple of smash and grab robberies, which is basically where someone takes a sledgehammer, runs into a store, breaks open the cases, steals everything they can, and splits. And I believe there were actually 4 in Sunnyvale. The people escaped, and then they promptly went, I guess, home to the Mission District of San Francisco. San Francisco's police department was on it in a hot second, and there were actually some arrests made. DPS went up to San Francisco to pick them up and bring them back. On the 1st and the 2nd, we had a concert at the Levi Stadium. Martina McBride, Brooks and Dunn, and Ann Wilson. And it apparently was pretty well attended, a 2-day event. However, it did generate 10 arrests, which is actually a little higher than what we would get if it was a football game. But they dealt with all of that, and things worked out. Also on the 1st, we had a failure to appear arrest for felony charges over on Patricia Drive. On the 2nd, at Alpine and the El Camino, just down there past Kylie, we had an arrest for possession. On the 2nd, we also had a driving under the influence charge in front of the CVS over on Homestead. On the 3rd, we had an arrest at Flora Vista and the El Camino for convicted felon in possession of a stun gun. For obvious reasons, the state has made rules that people who've been convicted of violent crimes cannot have stun guns, along with a lot of other things. And there was an arrest made for that. On the 3rd, over on the El Camino with the Firestone, there was an arrest for failure to appear. Also on the 3rd, at El Camino and Kylie, there was an arrest from an outside agency. Some other agency put up the warrant, and Santa Clara came in contact with the person. They held him until the issuing agency came and got him. On the 3rd, we had yet another failure to appear arrest at the Firestone. Not sure why they would go back there, but they did. On the 3rd, we also had an arrest at 2007 Halford for being trespassed off the property and returning. Just a quick heads up that on the 9th, which is tomorrow, the 49ers will be meeting the Denver Broncos out there at Levi Stadium. It does impact traffic in that whole part of town, and even though it's far north, I'd still like to let people know about it. Well, that's it for this edition. Again, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.